everybody. We are out here at the infamous container garden arbor trellis thing, and we haven't talked about this since last year, but this year we've got something new to try. I have planted out here since the last video you saw, mostly peas and beans, and I've been using the same soil over and over and over. I have not refreshed the soil in any way, shape, or form, which is really the perfect opportunity to try something. I was contacted by Luke over at the MIGardener channel, and he asked me if I would be interested in trying out some of his personal fertilizer, which at the time when he first messaged me, I didn't realize that it was something that he had developed. I thought it was maybe just something that he was promoting for his website, but it's not. It's something that he's worked on to develop. So here's what we're going to try. I want to grow some of these Snowcap beans, an heirloom variety that I want to grow a lot of. I want to have a lot of dried beans for over winter. Discovered over last winter that my children absolutely love bean soup, so why not? Let's go with the flow. So I've got beans growing in several different places on the property. I've got a local family's stash, their saved seed of a butterbean variety, and I don't know, we could go through a list. I've got beans growing everywhere on the property. But to do this, I told Luke that I want to trial it. I want to see whether or not it really makes any kind of difference. So this is my unscientific test. Here's what we're going to do. I've cleared out 4 of these buckets from the trellis. 2 of them we're not going to do anything on. They're going to be our control, if you like. The other 2 we're going to add Luke's Trifecta Plus to. Now, you see, I just got this in the mail yesterday. I haven't done anything with it. So let's take a look at it first. I'll pick up my trash later. I probably look really bad on camera. So here we are. This is his Trifecta Plus. And I have to say one thing. I am surprised about the application rates. And, you know, Luke, being a YouTuber, he'll come over here and give some comments and give some better advice, because I'm not 100% sure that this is really what he expects people to do with it. So look for MIGardener's comments below a couple days after this has been posted, and I'm sure he'll add a little more information to help anybody who's interested in using this product. What I mean by that is that it says here that the suggested application rate for beans and carrots is 100 pounds per square feet, or excuse me, 1 pound per 100 square feet, or 3 tablespoons for each plant. So thinking about that, if I did 4 plants in each one of these buckets, which is well within 1 plant per 2 inches kind of thing that you would see in like a square foot gardening method, that means 3/4 of a cup of this fertilizer, if you like. And you know, I'm going to keep calling it fertilizer for the sake of brevity, but you really need to go to the little linky up here in the corner that I'll put. Go over to MIGardener's channel and he'll explain to you what this really is. There's a lot more involved than just NPK in what he's doing here. There's a lot of I can't think of how to say it now. Mycorrhizal? I can never. Why do scientific words really make my tongue twist? I don't know. There's a lot of other minerals and elements and things in here that he's included. So make sure you go over there and get the full definition of what's going on with this product. Well, anyway, it's 3/4 of a cup. If you do 3 tablespoons, 4 plants, that's 12 tablespoons, which Google tells me is 3/4 of a cup. And that seems to me like an awful lot of fertilizer for 1 plant, or well, it's 4 plants for 1 container. It seems like an awful lot for 1 container. But that's what I'm going to do, because that's what the packaging says, and that's what people are going to go by. One other thing worth pointing out, Luke, I don't know if this was like a demo package that you sent me or not, There's mention on the back here about like 1 pound per 15 square feet, etc., etc. I had to weigh this myself to find out this is a 3-pound bag of fertilizer. So Luke, if I could offer one suggestion, is add something here on your label that says that this is 3 pounds worth of fertilizer. Maybe that's just me being anal retentive. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. All right. So anyway, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup to these 2 buckets. I'm going to leave these 2 buckets completely alone and plant 4 of the beans inside of each one. Now I'll probably put 8 in each one and then cull it back to 4, trim it back to 4 as they grow. So let's go ahead and stop talking. I've got a little 1/2 cup measuring cup here, and in the most scientific way possible, we're going to sprinkle this on. And now I'm going to use, I had my beans get away from me here, and I'm just going to use a trowel that I got for Christmas. It still has the ribbon involved, and I'm just going to mix this into about the top 6-ish inches of soil. Okay, that seems to be well incorporated as far as I can tell. Okay, now when these go under the trellis splits the short side, so the trellis goes like here up. So I'm going to make a little row right through the middle here, which will put me right underneath the trellis, so that these young beans, as soon as they want to put out tendrils, have something to grab a hold of. And I'm going to just drop these beans in. Let's see. Looks like 6 is probably a good measure there. I don't imagine I'll have that poor of germination. I'm sure I'll get 4 out of that. And just lightly tamp them down. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put my buckets under my trellis. The drip irrigation is still in place from before, but I will take just a moment to water these in lightly with a mist, just to settle everything down and get the process started. Now, the whole point of this is to come back later and see if we can tell if it's making a difference, to see whether or not we get a better start on things, whether the each plant in the fertilized buckets produce more seed pods or more beans, everything. See whether or not, generally speaking, we can, by eye, make a quantifiable difference between these 2 buckets and the other 2 buckets. So, check back later, and we'll see how this goes. If you all have anything else to add to this, or any specific questions you'd like me to answer as we go down the line, please go ahead and leave a comment down below, and we'll try to get it answered either in the next Q&A video or the next time we specifically come back to these containers. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.